I'll be as spoiler free as I possibly can, being vague and mostly focusing on gameplay. Basically, won't be talking about anything already shown in a trailer or anything that could be considered an actual spoiler. At time of recording, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out a few weeks ago. I've been focusing on making other videos, so I wasn't planning on playing this game until I finished some of those. But one day I was too hungover to edit, so I sat down on my couch and played this game for over 80 hours and beat it. Whoops. For quick reference, I played Xenoblade 1 on Wii. It's a masterpiece, one of my favorite games. I played Xenoblade X on Wii U. It's a masterpiece, one of my favorite games. I played Xenoblade 2 on Switch and I played it. But I played Torn of Gold Country, thought it was pretty good. I played Future Connected, thought it was pretty good. I have not played Xenogears or Xenosaga because I do not want to. Many people online decided to love this game before it even came out, because it's called Xenoblade and it looks like anime. However, I like to play the game first, then make an opinion, even if it's a series I like, because I've been hurt before. And y'all all know me, I'm a brutal but fair spaceman. So what do I think of it? What do I think of it? I think it's pretty good. I like it. The story. There's only a handful of, oh snap, moments, but it kept my interest and kept me wanting to see what happens next. I wasn't quite on the edge of my seat like in Xenoblade 1, but I wasn't bored out of my mind like in Xenoblade 2. It's somewhere in the middle, although this story does lack teeth. The main party of 6 are all very likable. They start out with more muted, toned down personalities than the previous games, but as it goes on, they gradually open up and come into their own, and each one has their own character arc woven into the main story. This is a very emotional game, with many scenes of your crew just hanging out, talking about how they feel, which I like. If I had to pick a favorite one, I'd go with local gremlin Uni. She's all like,
"What the spark, mate? In it? Yeah, come to Uni."
The game can be a little heavy-handed with its themes, but I'm a dumbass, so sometimes I miss important subtext if it's too subtle, so I much prefer this way. Besides, subtext is for cowards anyways. This is at the start of the game, but my fight or flight response activated when they're like, "Alright, let's all bathe together." And I was like, oh no, not again. But it's done very tastefully, which was really refreshing. It reminded me of Starship Troopers if y'all have seen that movie. A lesser game might use this scene for jokes, but this is Xenoblade 3 set in its tone. You had your fun, your wacky antics. Hopefully you grew up in the past 5 years since Xenoblade 2, because this is a
serious game for serious gamers.
The English voice acting is fine. None of the characters annoy me, not even the Nopon, which is amazing. Here's my updated Nopon power rankings. This is high praise considering Xenoblade 2 annoyed me when I was sober, and Xenoblade 3 didn't annoy me when I was hungover. And at no point has a character said, "We'll beat them," with the power of friendship. So the writing is already a noted improvement. The music is phenomenal, but it's a JRPG, you already knew that. Good music is all I have nowadays. It's like saying water is wet, or a Nintendo YouTuber who's
not really an RPG guy
saying that American Mario 2 is Doki Doki Panic. Like, yeah, we know. Be ready for a lot of flute. Like, a lot of flute. The gameplay. Again, I do really like the game, but I'm not sure if it's the life-changing masterpiece that people were claiming it is as early as Chapter 3. I do think there was a lot of recency bias and general excitement over a new game, but I'm not sure how much lasting impact this game will have in the long term. Not that a game needs to have that to be good, of course. And that's because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 feels like an HD remaster of a game made 10 years ago. I do not mean that as a positive or negative, just the style of the game, you know? On one hand, they don't make them like they used to. Build for tough. Instead of pandering to their audience like a lot of modern JRPGs have a tendency to do, it feels like they're just trying to make a good game. But on the other hand, there's no major issues, but there are minor improvements over the past 10 years that this game just doesn't have. For example, trying to control a certain object towards the end of the game is a non-stop pain in the dick. Audio balancing issues, weirdness during cutscenes, the game crashing, the game not knowing what to do with 7 characters at a time. These aren't major issues, but do kind of take me out of the game when they happen. Sometimes the game is pretty funny, and other times it is unintentionally hilarious. Like when one of these Digimon looking dudes shows up on screen, I cannot take them seriously. Some of the areas you'll see look nice and have a lot of draw distance. Many of them are fusions of places from Xenoblade 1 and 2, which is really cool, but none of them look as nice as the better areas from 1 or 2, or anywhere from X. Most of the earlier areas feel very hallway-y compared to the previous games, but later areas are much more open. I do appreciate how large one region will be to cut down on fast travel load screens. You'll be able to increase your movement speed a little bit, but this game desperately needs a sprint button like in X. There's also a lot of ladders. Just a lot of ladders. This is probably the slowest start to a Xenoblade game. Has an interesting battle at the beginning, then slows way down. I'm talking like an 18-minute cutscene right at the start. The summit might be Mount Everest, but you're gonna be going up the shallowest 1-degree incline to get there. The cutscenes can be a little overindulgent, and I like cutscenes in games, but a problem that all of these games have sometimes is that they take 10 minutes to say what could have been said in 2 minutes, especially towards the start. It's a great snacking game in that regard. Like the Friday night the game came out, I made a pound of salmon and salmon sandwiches for dinner, and I had plenty of time to put the controller down and eat the whole thing, and some pudding, and some yogurt before I fully took control of my character. A few of the cutscenes are some of the coolest cutscenes I've seen in any video game ever, but most of them are characters standing around with long pauses between each line of dialogue. I do appreciate how there's no load screen between cutscene and boss fight. The first 10 to 15 hours are packed with tutorials like they're trying to launder money through airport security. You watch a cutscene explaining the new mechanic in universe, and then you watch a PowerPoint of the mechanic, and then the game guides you through the menu to exactly where it's located. I do think it's better to risk having too many tutorials than not enough, especially after Xenoblade 2 had the worst tutorials I've seen in any video game, but this game will be like, here's a new battle mechanic, now here's 100 enemies to practice it on before the next new mechanic. Vague late game stuff. You very much do not need to have played the previous games to understand or enjoy this one. For the most part, it's just minor Easter eggs. A few scenes might not be as impactful, but it's barely there, and this game largely tells its own story, which I appreciate. The final dungeon is way too long, the final boss has a couple of moments that had me out loud saying, oh hell yeah, but overall was a little bit too long with too many phases. And the ending is really good, other than one part that's like really bad fanfiction that had me and other people throw up when we saw it. Those of you who have played it or at least seen it know exactly what I'm referring to. Also, there's some cool stuff to unlock if you go back into your save file after beating the final boss, including the best song in the game. The battle system. Hey, how many battle mechanics should this game have? Yes. The combat is the biggest thing you have to get right. I'm gonna try to explain this battle system without sounding like I'm having a stroke. Xenoblade 1 had 3 battle people. Xenoblade X had 4 battle people with 4 giant robots. Xenoblade 2 had 3 battle drivers who each had 3 blades. Xenoblade 3 has 6 simultaneous party members. You can freely switch between which one you're controlling at any time, and the rest are computer controlled. You can change up their strategies slightly, and by that I mean you want to pick the everyone gang up on the same dude option. Xenoblade 3 continues its single player MMO style by starting out with characters auto-attacking during combat. You have to be standing still to auto-attack, but there's time between auto-attacks to move around a little. During battle, your arts charge up, which are your special moves. They have all sorts of different effects. You got the Break Topple Daze combo from Xenoblade 1. You got the Break Topple Launch Smash combo from Xenoblade 2. There are buff arts, debuff arts, positional based arts where you look at the little arrow, area of effect arts that make you become the master of Venn diagrams during battle. Capacity characters charge up their arts by time passing like in Xenoblade 1, and Agnian characters charge arts by auto-attacking like Xenoblade 2. But that's not all! You can cancel auto-attacks into arts to make them charge faster. When you get further into the game, you can even cancel arts into other arts. But that's not all! You also have your talent art, which charges up when you fulfill enough of your class's role actions. What are role actions? Well, each class fits into 1 of 3 categories: DPS, tank, or healer. And when you say do supporting moves as a healer or draw attention as a tank, then your talent art charges up. Each character has several different classes to choose from. 2 classes with the same role will have vastly different abilities, like one class might be a physical tank, the other might be a dodge tank. Each character has a level of compatibility with each class, and each class has 5 options for arts, and you pick 3, plus your talent art and passive skills specific to each class. As you use the class more, your characters rank up and improve. Changing class will also change their clothes, which is how you play dress up in the game, which is pretty fun. It's a combo of the regular clothes and the new clothes. But that's not all! As you rank up in each class, your character will gain master arts and master skills they can equip for multi-classing. Kevesians can only equip Agni master arts and vice versa, so you have a total of 6 arts plus your talent art. But that's not all! When your horizontally corresponding arts are ready at the same time, you can use fusion attacks to use both of them together. Wowie zowie. How do you unlock more classes? Well, did I say 6 party members? Because I actually meant 7. Yes, 7 party members, because you also have an NPC hero character in the 7th slot. You can't switch to control them yourself, even if they're the coolest character in the game. Doo-doo game, 0 out of 10. Some of them you get through the main story, but most of them you get through side quests. At the end of the quest, one of your party members can equip that class, but by using that class and the hero character in battle, more of your characters will gradually learn that class. I think it might be bugged though, because my character will use a class so long that they'll max it out, and I'll be using the corresponding corresponding hero character too, but the meter won't go up for the others. Is this happening to anyone else? Is there something I'm missing? Is it just extremely slow? Is it based off of number of battles and not class points? Do they have to be standing close to each other during battle? Because if so, that's stupid. It would have been better if you could spend Nopon coins to unlock the classes faster, not just level up their ranks. But that's not all! On top of your class skills, there are gems you can craft at campfires to pump up your stats or give you special abilities, and there are 10 levels of each gem. You can equip 3. And there are accessories you can buy from shops to pump up your stats and give you special abilities. And there are a lot of options. Like a lot of options. A whole lot of options. I don't know, when a game gives you this many options and wants you to change your classes often and has an auto-equip option, you know which one I'm gonna do. But that's not all! There are also chain attacks. You can activate it by filling up the chain attack meter, which you do by fusion attacks, I think? And oh boy, do I super understand what's going on here. You pick a strategy, then each character does a fusion attack and fills up the TP gauge up above 100%, and you get more TP if the attack matches the strategy type, I think? But healing characters stop filling it up at 99% because sometimes the TP amount will get multiplied because and then you do the strategy attack and rack up damage multipliers. If you reach 150%, you get a bravo, and 200% is an awesome, and you can keep doing it, and some characters will reactivate and attack again because honestly, I just kind of pick whatever. I tried watching auto battle one time and the computer kind of picks whatever too. Did you know that you can choose which character attacks with a control pad? I didn't know that until chapter 7 out of 7. But that's the whole battle system. Just kidding, there's also Ouroboros! You can activate Ouroboros. Sorry, that's the way they said it in Braille default, but in this game it's Ouroboros. Wait, hang on, they're British. Ouroboros. Then 2 of your characters fuse together like his Digimon Adventure 2, and they turn into a legion from Astral Chain. You cannot tell me that's not what it is. And they have super powerful arts to choose, and a talent art, and skills, and a skill tree. But each duo has 2 forms to switch between, and they can share abilities between each other. But that's not all! You can also use Ouroboros moves during a chain attack sometimes, and the guy rides his sword like a hoverboard, and the girl starts ice skating. That's pretty cool. But that ends the chain attack early if you do the Ouroboros move, but if you activate chain attack during level 3 Ouroboros attack, then it only does the big attack twice. And during a chain attack, you can overkill the enemy, decrease the amount of experience you get at the end, and chain attacks have their own theme song that interrupt the boss music. So you'll be in a boss battle, and the music will be all like... And then you'll activate the chain attack and it switches to Monster Energy Price is Right music. It's not a bad song at all, but it completely derails the tone of boss fights and should be a toggle in the menu. And while you're at it, a pause music toggle. I prefer to hear the area themes. Anyway, that's the whole battle system, I'm pretty sure. There's a few minor things I haven't mentioned, like the right stick shimmy to quick get into position, the burst combo for extra items, and Noah going sicko mode. Is it a lot of mechanics? Yes, but the game gradually teaches you all this stuff across a dozen hours of playtime. So is it too many mechanics? I don't think so. But, am I enjoying the battles? Sure. Am I winning all the battles? Yeah. Do I feel like I'm winning the battles? Do I feel like I know what I'm doing? I mean, I guess. I don't know, when you have 7 party members and 6 of them are on auto battle, it's just like, are my actions as a player really making a big difference? Especially when you can turn the whole game on auto battle? How much better is one tank class doing versus a different tank class? Is this party composition working? I'm not an optimizer and I get the gist of what's happening, but it would be nice if there was like an end of battle report you could view in the pause menu to show you different performance stats, because during battle, yeah, there's a lot going on. Battles are pretty quick, which I like, but group fights can be a mess. It's like you're playing a Final Fantasy XIV group raid by yourself. It's not quite sensory overload, but it is a lot. So I focus on controlling one guy and don't switch too often. The only time I do switch is when one character, Senna, is low on health but not walking into the healing AoE, or when my characters will be low on health and I'll switch to my healer and their healing moves will be all charged up, ready to go, and they're not using them. Alright, none of the Xenoblade games' main stories are particularly difficult, but this is by far the easiest one. Part of the reason is because it is so easy to become disgustingly overleveled. So many mechanics like cooking, finding new areas, collectopedia, side quests, elite monsters, unique monsters, overkill experience boosting. They're all just dump trucking experience into your party. You have to actively ignore the game mechanics that the game teaches you to have any sort of challenge. Even before I did any side quests, I was easily 5 to 10 levels higher than the enemies in the areas. And keep in mind, with 7 party members, you can fight an enemy who's like 5 to 10 levels higher than you and be fine. So if your party's level 70, you can fight a dude who's level 80, but the story enemies you'll have to fight won't be higher than level 60. Oh, and you can't level down your characters until after you beat the final boss. Other than accidentally walking off of a cliff, I died 2 times in this game. Once was on a side quest where I had to fight 6 scorpions that were 5 levels lower than my team, but we died within 30 seconds, so instead I fought them one at a time. The other time was a group fight where I wasn't sure what was happening or why I was taking so much damage, so I switched my hero character to a healer and won. Alright, maybe it's my fault for playing on normal mode, which is usually the way the game is intended to be played, but I'm always skeptical of playing on hard mode in JRPGs where you can infinitely grind levels. Is the game actually harder, or does it just take longer? But in the entire second half of this game, you barely do any fighting. You're just running past enemies 10 levels lower than you until the final dungeon where every enemy, still 10 levels lower than you, all attack you with 0 chance of winning.
It's a game where you have a billion decisions to make, but none of those decisions actually matter since the game is stupidly easy and kind of plays itself.
All of this being said, I do think this is the best combat in the series, even if most of the enemies are copy-pasted from 1 and 2. Best things I can say about the game. For multiple days in a row, I have fallen asleep while playing it. Not because I'm bored, but because I wanted to play the game more. Look, Mr. Spaceman's getting old, y'all. I can't stay up all night playing these games. I gotta take breaks. But this one, I wanted to keep going way past my bedtime. And you know what the last game I fell asleep playing was? Xenoblade Chronicles X, baby! The king has returned. In most games, I only do a lot of the side quests if I like the core gameplay. And here I've done many of the side quests and unlocked all the classes through the hero quests, even if their plots fall into the 3 superhero team-up movie formulas. 1. They team up. 2. They punch for a bit, then they're mates. Or 3. When you really want to spice things up, they're mates for a bit, then they punch, then they're mates again. I even played this game on a plane, in an aisle seat. If you're a grown-ass man playing anime in public, the game's gotta be at least pretty good, right? On my seldom used numerical scale that I don't like using, but it does make comparisons easier, I would give it an 8.5, but I don't believe in half rankings anymore, and I don't think it's as good as X, so I'll give it a solid 8. If you like JRPGs and have a Switch, I highly recommend it. If you like other Xenoblade games, you probably already have it, but if not, you'll probably like it too. Anyways, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. I'll probably do a more in-depth spoiler-filled review in the future after all the DLC for it comes out in like a year, so keep an eye out for that. Oh shoot, I need a code word. Comment Spark if you made it through the whole video. If you're playing Xenoblade 3, then comment below with how you feel about the game, but please try to keep it as spoiler-free as you can, and that's it, video's over.
That's Dunban over there!